Center stage, center stage, center, center, center stage. Center stage.
Welcome to Center Stage. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I got up this morning, did a little scuba diving. I came up, I had a little Nipsey narcosis, so I'm a little.
Okay.
You were a scuba diver when you were a young man, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever experience any life or death situations when you were scuba diving?
Well, not really, no. I mean, a few times I got a little bit overexcited, you know. And once I was chasing I don't know, I was chasing a stingray, and I kind of, I was so exhausted by swimming too fast, and then I didn't get enough, air, and then I started to get a little bit anxious and started a little bit of panic, and then I calmed myself down, but it wasn't really life-threatening, no.
Now let's flash forward where you're making a film where you've got actors and also that casting process of finding actors that will be able to be submerged and kind of in some ways perhaps a little helpless at points. How do you navigate that landscape, and how do you go about finding that actor that can weather that storm, let's say?
Well, first I have to say, both of them had zero experience with diving. We were looking for actresses who had experience, but we couldn't find any. So Sophie and Louisa didn't do anything. We had to train them from scratch, which is also in hindsight, I have to say, what they did, it's just amazing. And okay, where can I start? Okay, so if you are acting to be afraid and to panic underwater, it's very close to the real emotion of panicking underwater. But as we shot everything for real underwater, it's of course obviously super dangerous. So they had to be really good. They had to become really experienced divers, and we knew this from the beginning. So we did months of training with them, and I was super nervous that I get the phone call like 2 weeks before shooting that they quit, that it was too much for them. And but luckily they really fell in love with it, and they still dive, and they also fell in love, so to say, with each other. They became really good friends. And I don't know, I guess it's all about trust in a way, to do those kind of extreme shooting situations. And I don't know, I'm just lucky it worked out, and I owe them a lot, I have to say. They were amazing, and they were real troopers.
The movie is beautifully shot, but also as I'm watching it, it's just so claustrophobic because I put myself with those characters, and what would happen if I were in that situation?
That's the thing, the beauty of survival thrillers and the power of physical cinema. If you get into that state of mind, what would I do? How would I cope with the situation? I mean, it's always a very powerful mechanism, I think. And yeah, and I can't even start how difficult it was to shoot underwater, but how beautiful it also was. It was a great adventure and experience, but the obstacles to shoot a film underwater are immense.
Have you always had that sense of adventure? And with this film, but all your films, do you think of them, each one as its own separate adventure?
Every film is an adventure. I can say it. I mean, it's not only an adventure, it's much more than this, but every time it is an adventure, and I'm every time super nervous about it. And now I'm preparing a series here in Prague, and I know the first shooting day, I won't sleep the night before, and it's very, very exciting, and it's also like anxiety inducing.
Your film works on a couple of different levels. There's this notion of acceptance. We see that there's acceptance of a family member, and then it's also the acceptance of death.
The acceptance of death was a very big part, because the original film also only shows the active sister who's going up and down, But I was really interested in the sister who's stuck there. And what would you do if you can't do anything? You're completely dependent on someone else, and you can only, she has this 2 minutes of talking. And other than that, she has just to be with herself, with her fear. Diving is such a beautiful metaphor for, diving into your own subconsciousness, into your own, to facing everything that is in the deep, so to say.
And no, I also think that the film operates on this metaphor of drowning, where drowning, the physical act of drowning, but then also drowning in family drama. There is a scene in the film, I hope this doesn't give it away, where the father holds one of the children down and she struggles to get back up. And as May's having her flashbacks, we see that. And I thought that was a really powerful thing, because there is, I think we have this innate fear of being held against our will or being trapped where there is no way out.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see like that the rock is just a metaphor for the hand of the father pushing her down all her life, basically. Be stronger, be better. You have to, be resilient and be underwater and hold your breath. And so she did, but she lost the joy and the love for the ocean. And through the trauma, through what she experienced, and through this like acceptance, she finds the love back in actually the moment of dying or death.
You do this remake. It was what it was called, Breaking the Surface.
Breaking the Surface.
I think I heard you say in another interview that you maybe didn't want to go back, and because remakes suck. So what did you do? Because it's if that film is there right next to you. It's that ghost of that film traveling with you as you create your film. How do you go about doing it so that it still is true to the story, but then it is your unique creation?
I was so, drawn to the opportunity to shoot a film in the ocean and to go on this adventure, that all my fear of not doing justice to the original kind of on the background. I mean, the pressure of filmmaking is anyway, the stakes are always high. There's a lot of money involved. If you do a remake, of course, you always, you know that this remake is there and if people will compare it. But if you think about it all the time, I mean, you go crazy. I mean, you can't think of all the pressure things that are happening in filmmaking. You have to stay like concentrate on what's working and on the fun part of it. And when I adapted the screenplay and put my own spin to it, to the characters and to the development and to all the stream of consciousness and the psychedelic elements of it, I had enough inspiration, so to say, that I was confident enough to say, okay, this is gonna work. Or I hope there's enough hope that it's gonna work, that I can do this.
We shot this in Malta, right?
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful, the landscape, but also that barrenness of they are isolated and totally alone.
Yeah.
And how are they going to get out of this situation? And the clock is ticking. So I guess you'll just have to go and see the film to find that out.
Please do. I don't want, induce fear of diving with this film, even though I probably do.
Center stage.